doctor suggested that they leave me with him as payment for his services.
Seems legit. Definite true story. Oh god, this is going into like crazy town. Alright, so I have once again scoured the YouTubes and found a channel that is just so amazing. A real gem of a channel that I felt like I just needed to share it with you guys. You know, like Troom Troom, 7-second riddles, 5-minute crafts, 1, 2, 3, go. And now we have come to real animated stories. Particularly the channels Actually Happened, which I'm pretty sure is owned by 5-Minute Crafts, which owns 7-Second Riddles. And then this channel that kind of piggybacked off them, My Story Animated. Now, if you haven't heard of these, you might be wondering, Lauren, this doesn't sound that unique. It's just an animation channel. There's tons of those. And that is where I need to show you that you're wrong. The thing that sets these apart from those channels are the titles, thumbnails, and actual stories that this channel covers and says are real. So today, we're gonna be investigating whether we think that they're actually real stories that these animations are based off of. Also, before we get into these stories, guess what time it is? Cue the confetti! This is a reminder that it's almost 6 weeks since my birthday. And my 6-week-old birthday wish is for you to like this video. Do it now. Especially if you want to see some more real and or fake animated stories in the future. Yay! I was asked to babysit an unknown boy. Turned out he was my half-brother. My parents left me home alone and left forever. I was 6. I took the phone of my mom's boyfriend by mistake. Oh my god. My boyfriend's family hates me because I'm not pregnant. And then on My Story Animated, my sister destroyed my life and left me alone in a wheelchair. I lost my vision and regret getting it back. I waited for all my friends to fall asleep to fulfill my weird habit. I mean, just gripping stuff, as you can see. So I'm gonna pick some of the most ridiculous sounding ones because those get the most views anyway on these sites. And we, together, are gonna skim through them and see what we think. Are they real, like they say, or are they fake? By the way, no hate to Actually Happened or My Story Animated. Their stories are clearly fantastic and that's why they're getting millions of views. But I don't know if we should say that all of them are real, is all I'm saying. I was switched at birth with another baby. Now, how could this possibly have happened? Let's see.
Hello everyone, my name is Emily, and recently my life has started to resemble a TV series. Let me start from the very beginning.
Okay.
All 16 years of my life, I have felt pretty different from both of my parents.
Oh no.
I was never really like anyone in the family.
Nobody asked questions about why she was white and they were not white, and also blonde and they were not blonde? No? No questions asked? Okay. Seems legit.
And I don't look like anyone in the family either. They are all brunettes with blue eyes and dark skin.
Everybody in my family, including my parents, are not my ethnicity. I'm shocked that the dad did not ask if it was his kid. I mean, legitimate reason. The kid looks nothing like either of you. Oh.
I do love my family, and I'm sure that they love me back.
I'm sure that they love me. Maybe.
My time to find out what was wrong with me came with a piece of mail. That day, I was home alone when the mailman came and brought a letter from the local hospital addressed to my mom. The information inside sent me into shock.
What could it possibly have said? I don't know from the title and thumbnail yet.
The letter said that 16 years ago, on the night I was born, the fire alarm went off suddenly, and that incident made the nurse on duty panic and switch 2 babies.
I can't, wait a minute. I mean, I know the animation's doing the best job it can with this scenario, but she's literally holding one baby, and instead of quickly putting the baby back down into the crib that's empty, she goes, oh, and like puts it in this other crib. Seems legit. Definite true story.
At first, she was scared to confess this because she thought she might lose her job.
Nobody knew what she did, but she was like, I can't move them back. I can't Put them back because people will know and I will get fired. I just have to leave it like this.
I wanted to contact my biological parents. I immediately recognized the other me at first glance. She looked just like my mom. The same hair and eyes, same mannerisms, and even the way she waved at me.
If this is real, this is the saddest, most messed up story ever.
Now our family, or rather both of our families, has undergone a scary, although very interesting period in our lives. We now need to figure out how we are going to live, what we will say to the rest of the family, and how we will communicate with one another.
I still don't understand how neither family went to the hospital and was like, hey, our kid looks nothing like us. I mean, I will still just never understand the reasoning of this nurse. I can't. It's all her fault. It's all her fault. I answered my dad's phone and it killed our family. I mean, now I gotta know why.
Hello, I'm Evan, and currently everything in my life is falling apart. My family, my studies, everything.
No.
And all of it happened just because I helped my father at his work.
I need to know.
One day my father went out to some meeting, and he was supposed to take me home that day. I thought he was busy, so I decided to just wait for him at his office since it was unlocked, and I had been in there many times before. While I was waiting there, the phone rang.
Tell
it
me
was
what
in
it
his desk
says.
drawer, so I decided to ignore it. But it kept calling again.
No,
and
answer it.
again,
I need
like
to know.
every
Why did
3
this kill your
minutes.
family?
And I got tired of it, so I decided to answer and to say that my dad
This
was
is why
away,
these videos do
thinking
so
maybe
good.
it was mom. I answered the phone, and a woman's voice said, "Hey, want to come over today, darling?" I quickly turned the phone off.
Oh no. Oh, he's cheating.
It wasn't my mom. I didn't know what to do or think, so I just left the office and never came back. After a few months, my mom said they were getting a divorce, and she didn't really explain because she knew I knew. Now they live separately, and I live with my mom, and she is very unhappy.
I know I'm laughing, but this is just happening so fast. And basically, that's pretty much how the story ends. I'm not joking. The title and thumbnail got me, and it was literally just that he found out his dad was cheating on his mom, and everything fell apart. That's it? I thought I was gonna find out something. Okay, that story might be true. You guys let me know in the comments, actually, which stories you think are true and which are not. I don't actually have an answer for you, so. All right, moving over to My Story Animated, let's see what we got over here. I was afraid, so I get a baby? I was afraid of the government, so I got a baby to save my parents. Okay, I need to know what this is.
My name is Jemmy, and I'm 16 years old.
Okay.
My story begins 2 years ago when my parents and I migrated from our country to find a better life in the U.S. The government was taking new and extreme measures to deport illegal immigrants.
Wonder who that's supposed
This
to be.
put our entire lives in jeopardy. My parents panicked, not knowing what to do. We've been hiding for long as illegal immigrants, and we knew that we'd most likely get deported.
Oh no.
In the rush of things, an idea popped into my head that I knew could save the whole situation.
Getting pregnant? What?
In one of the houses where I worked, I met a boy who I ended up falling in love with. He was American and from a wealthy and powerful family.
Oh, of
I knew
course
he
was.
loved me, and I thought of him at most times as my future partner.
It sounds like every teenage love story ever. How could he love me? He's so pretty and perfect and rich, and his family is well known.
So, maybe, if things got more official between us, the chances of us staying in the U.S. would rise. Now, I'm not talking about marriage. I wish that would work.
Oh no. Oh
Well,
no, girl.
I could ask him to marry me, but I wasn't sure if that would be legal at my age, and his parents would definitely not approve. It was going to be a long, long story. So instead, I came up with an idea that was more doable.
Girl, don't do
I
it.
wanted to get pregnant.
No.
Surely Josh would stay by my side. He wouldn't let me do this alone.
No.
And if that was the case, he'd make sure no one would take away his beloved girlfriend and baby.
Oh god, this is going into like crazy town. Don't nobody do this! That's what's bad if these stories are not true. Like, it fills people's heads with, oh, it worked for this person. See, it was a real story. Don't listen.
My plan seemed just perfect.
No. The plan is not perfect, girl. Look at her face. She looks crazy.
I read online all about it, and I followed the instructions.
Instructions on what? How to get pregnant?
Getting pregnant was the easy part. I read online all about it, and I followed the instructions.
Oh, what is happening?
One day, the pregnancy test showed positive for pregnancy.
Oh no.
Seeing the results in my own eyes made everything feel so real.
Well, yeah. You really are pregnant now. You have made this life-altering decision. What'd she say? She's 16? Girl. No.
I went to Josh and told him about the pregnancy. His cold reaction was very confusing.
Girl, this wasn't like you both accidentally got into this situation. You entrapped this guy and didn't tell him that you were trying to get pregnant with his kid so you could stay in the country. Obviously, he's not gonna be cool with it.
My parents were never deported and were granted residence because I was carrying an American child.
Oh.
And I also was underage. So my parents were given permission to stay with me.
Okay, well, that was the most ridiculous story I've heard. My parents left me to die, but I survived and became a star. Who is this? I need to know. They're probably not going to tell me because it's probably not real.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
My childhood might shock you. You see, my family was so poor that when I was born, my mother and father could not afford to pay the doctor who helped my mother give birth to me. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? No?
And you know what happened next?
What?
The doctor suggested that they leave me with him as payment for his services.
Okay, sure. Totally normal.
Luckily for me, my father managed to make some money. My father would wake me up at dawn to practice martial arts. We practiced kung fu together.
Oh my god, is this Jackie Chan story?
Unemployment in my home country rose high, and in order to keep their jobs, my parents, who worked for the ambassador of one foreign country, had to move to Australia as their employer was relocated.
Oh,
Do you think that they took their 8-year-old son with them?
did they?
No.
Oh no.
For you, it might seem terrible that parents would even be able to leave their child behind.
Oh god.
But for my family, it was simply a matter of survival. So, my parents left, and I stayed at the Drama Academy, where we had all kinds of training. Can you imagine how happy I was to receive a telegram from a guy who was looking for someone fearless to star in a new movie?
What?
It turned out that he had seen me a while ago when I was working as a stuntman and had been impressed. Soon, I was on my way back home to star in an action fighter movie. I was 21 years old. This guy later on became my best friend and manager, and I will
Is this
always
Jackie
remember
Chan?
to whom I owe my success. We made many movies together. A great part of them were comedies. Why? Maybe because I prefer to smile in this life,
Wait,
no matter how hard it hits you.
is this Jackie Chan? Wait a minute.
I told you already that my name is Jackie. Jackie Chan.
What? Is this true? I mean, I'm assuming so, or else somebody would have said something by now. Okay, I take back what I said, maybe. Not every story is fake. This one was Jackie Chan's life. Alright, you know what? The last story we're doing is the newest one from My Story Animated about the wheelchair sister being left for dead, because I need to know how that happened.
Hi, I'm Claire. And
Hi, Claire.
until last year, my only friend in the world was my sister, Emma. But then she got married, and I almost lost touch with her forever. But I've decided to do the most selfish thing to prevent that from happening. I hope you can understand after you hear my story. On one horrific day, I was driving to work when I got hit by a car that ran a red light. I woke up 2 days later and found out what had happened. I survived, but I'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. I got compensated so I don't have to work, but that meant my life got very small.
Oh,
I
no.
spent every day at home just waiting for Emma to get back from work. Then one day she told me that she had met a man, Dan,
Oh, no.
who had asked
Dan.
her out on a date. He
Damn
was
it,
a
Dan.
businessman from Australia, who she
Boo.
said had met him in a coffee shop when he accidentally picked up her Americano thinking it was his latte.
Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! What a great way to meet.
Soon, Emma was seeing Dan more and more. She
Oh,
seemed
no.
different since she
Dan.
met him. One day, Emma came home all excited. Dan had proposed to her in a restaurant, and she had said yes.
Oh my god.
I asked her if she had really thought through marrying someone she had known less than a year. But she got really angry and told me that I needed to think about my own happiness and not interfere with hers. But I was still convinced that he wasn't
my
as
God.
perfect as she said. I Googled him to see what I could find. I I found his Facebook, his Instagram,
Googling
and his
Dan.
LinkedIn. I was worried he would see that I was spying on him, so I set up a fake account to follow him.
Oh my
Soon
goodness.
I noticed that a woman, Julie, liked a lot of his posts on Facebook.
Julie.
Then she started liking his pictures on Instagram too. All her social media was public, so I could see everything that she posted. One night, I saw that she had checked in at a posh bar in town. I asked Emma where Dan was, and she told me he was at a bar for a business meeting. I told Emma about Julie and how I thought that they were at the bar together. Emma was so angry that I had been following her fiancé's moves. I told her that if she thought I was wrong, that she should go to the bar and see it for herself. So she stormed out of the house and went to the bar to confront him. She had walked into the bar and seen Dan and Julie having drinks together. When he had seen Emma, he had looked uncomfortable, like he had been caught out. She went to confront him and he wouldn't tell her who Julie was. Emma was so upset that she threw her engagement ring back at him and told him she never wanted to see him again.
Oh!
An hour later, they came out of her room, hand in hand. I noticed that Emma was wearing her engagement ring again.
Oh no.
I asked her what had happened. She told me that I had been wrong and that Dan hadn't been on a date at the bar or having an affair. Julie was an old friend who had offered him a job. He had met her in secret as he didn't want to tell Emma in case he didn't get the job. But he had got the job and accepted it.
Sounds legit.
Emma said she had agreed not only to get married to Dan, but to move with him so he could take the job, which was all the way in Australia.
Wait a minute. Why does everybody keep going to Australia in these stories? Is it because there's actually a conspiracy theory that Australia doesn't exist? Just like some of these stories?
2 weeks later was their wedding day. I was the maid of honor and some of Emma's
So
friends were
happy.
bridesmaids. All I could think about was how much I hated Dan for poisoning my sister against me. After the ceremony, he tried to talk to me, but I refused.
Dan.
I didn't want anything to do with the man who had stolen my sister from me.
Get away, Dan.
A week after the wedding, Emma emigrated to Australia and left me. A few days later, I received a letter from Emma telling me that part of the reason that she left was she wanted me to learn to stand on my own 2 feet.
Oh, bird! What a terrible thing to say to somebody in a wheelchair!
Behind Emma's words was a message she kept trying to give me. I needed to stop feeling lonely and focusing my anger on her and Dan and start looking after myself instead. Her leaving me was the push I needed to be brave and go and make friends.
Okay, so my sister destroyed my life and left me alone in a wheelchair. AKA, my sister wanted what was best for me, you know, to have my own life, leave the house once in a while, meet some new people. Destroyed my life. Glad we cleared that up. All right, guys, well, that's gonna be it for these real and or fake animated stories that I still can't decide if they're real or fake. Make sure to leave in the comments below what stories you thought were real and what stories you thought were fake. I'm super interested to know if I'm on my own here with my decisions. If you want me to do more of these in the future, then make sure to leave a like before you go. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I put out new videos almost every single day. And as always, I will see you guys soon.